Good morning, everybody. Been a while since I did a Ranger reviews. I keep almost pushing these things off, man. The last 3 Ranger games I have been working, so I haven't been able to watch the last 3 Ranger games live. I've been watching them all. Was the last 3 or 2? I think it was 2, maybe 3. I don't know. I was watching after coming home late from work, recording, and just didn't feel like. I feel like coming home watching the game. Being disappointed, and then doing a review at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Why did my computer just shut off? I had the stats pulled up for last game, and my computer's like, yeah, go fuck yourself, Nick. Okay, I'll go fuck myself. Go fuck myself. Just give this a minute to load up, but I will say this. I'm going to do a very brief overview of the Rangers game from, what's today? Thursday, from Tuesday night. Because my review for this game is going to be pretty much identical to what happened against, was it the Devils we lost? No, the Penguins. The reviews are going to essentially be, both games against the Penguins, right? They're basically identical at this freaking point. The only difference is Filipino wasn't in one of those games. And what a shame. Hedl was turning the fuck up. I'm sorry, I sound exhausted right now. Hedl was turning the fuck up. And then he gets hurt. Of a freak accident, a slight collision. I feel like that's the most Rangers thing ever. These kids are finally breaking out. And motherfucker, just by accident, bumps into somebody. We thought Rodriguez was the one that hurt. Turns out that Hedl was one that was pretty damn hurt. Just, ugh. It doesn't stop. Oof. God, I hate school. Schools make me tired, y'all. I apologize. Alright. So, very quickly. Yeah, it's a 3-2 final. God damn. Well, the Rangers actually did pretty good in the first period on that Buffalo game, but just like, the end of the last couple games, they play like shit. You know what my opinion on the Rangers? They have no structure, they have no game plan. David Quinn, I'm getting a little fucking sick of him. I don't think they should fire him yet. I don't know if this is firing territory. Gotta at least let the season play out. But ever since he's gotten here, they never look like they have a proper game plan. They never do. They're all over the friggin' ice. There is no meshing. There's no team identity. I don't know what kind of team this is supposed to be because there's just no identity. We don't really have, like, Lemieux is our only guy that has any sort of physicality to him. Players look genuinely scared to make a play on the puck. Like, listen, Tony's had a really slow start to the season. Lafreniere's had a slow start. But every time those two touch the puck, just for example, every time those two touch the puck, and even Capo too, they look afraid to have the puck. They look like they want to get rid of the pucks fucking so fast that the coach's head's going to be spinning. They literally look like they're afraid to make a mistake because Quinn is the coach that is benching players off of one mistake, not even costly mistakes, and he's benching them. And I think it's fucking ridiculous that these players are playing scared because it's fucking with everything else. I don't know what kind of power trip David Quinn is on, but it needs to stop because he is fucking this team up. These players are afraid. They're on the ice and they look like they are afraid to even be close to the fucking puck, and it is ridiculous. Yet again, the Rangers get dummied in the face-off dot. We were down 70% to 30%. All right, Buffalo won 70%. We won 30% of faceoff. That is embarrassing. No faceoff takers on this team. We did out-hit Buffalo, but you wouldn't have noticed it if you watched the game. We're just talking about ice time, dude. I don't understand why Kevin Rooney's still in this lineup and Julian Gauthier isn't it. You lose Filipino, a very highly skilled offensive player, and you replace him with a defensive player in Kevin Rooney, essentially. What the fuck are you doing, David Quinn, you fucking asshole? And I apologize for my language. I'm very tired this morning, and I'm in a piss mood. Quinn, you're an asshole. You're a coach in the NHL. When you lose skill, you replace it with skill. When you lose toughness, you replace it with toughness. For example, in December of 2014, when Derek Dorsett got hurt, in December of 2013, it was the 13-14 season. When Derek Dorsett got hurt in December of 2013, what did the Rangers do? Who did they call and replace him with? They made a trade with the LA Kings for a 7th-round pick and acquired Daniel Carcillo. They replaced a grindy, tough guy with a grindy, tough guy. like, am I fucking missing something, or is this guy just not a coach in the NHL? Like, I feel like I'm being punked right now. Like, the first 6 games, it's just a really bad prank show, and it's just starting to fall flat, the jokes now, because this is fucking ridiculous. It makes no goddamn sense to me what the fuck they're doing. David Quinn, I swear to God, this guy has his head up his ass. I'm cursing a lot, and I apologize. How is this guy a coach in the NHL? How is this guy? I don't understand it. The first power play unit fucking sucks. Why do you continue to roll 4 righties on the first unit, and then you roll 3 lefties up front and 2 lefties at the point on the second unit? Like, how is this guy a coach in the NHL at this point? What, you can watch any other NHL team. We can watch Pierre Maguire's NHL teams when he was coaching, and he didn't even do this. He didn't even make these mistakes. I would love to know David Quinn's reasoning to have 4 righties on the top power play unit and 1 lefty, and the 1 lefty on the top power play unit, Chris Kreider, is parked in front of the fucking net. So he's not even a one-time option. He's not even necessarily a pass option. He's a deflection artist. So I don't understand how you have righty, 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 lefty. How the fuck does that make sense? And then on the second unit, this is the best part. This is the best part. The second unit, righty, righty at the point, lefty, lefty, lefty. So you don't have a mid-range right-handed one-timer option. You have it on the left side, but Lord knows we can't get the fucking puck to the left side. And on top of that, you can't keep the fucking puck in the zone because you have guys on their offside. So I don't understand that. I literally, it blows my fucking mind. It just, I'm bewildered all the time. And I'm glad Kreider scored, but for the love of God, we're paying the guy $6.5 million, and he's got what, 2 goals in the season to show for it, and both of them were basically gift wrapped for him. Those weren't individual efforts on his part. The guy's making almost $7 million, $7 million, and he really hasn't done very much to prove that he himself has earned $7 million. Now, has Zibanejad and Buchnevich made it look like he could earn $7 million on the score sheet? Yeah, but not on the fucking ice. God damn, I'm in a piss mood today with this team. They look like complete and utter shit. They really do. But I don't know. The thing that's pissing me off the most is just the way that David Quinn's running the team. It makes no sense at all. Like, if you're gonna play Kevin Rooney 6.5 minutes, which is what he played against Buffalo the other night, why not just put Gauthier in the lineup and actually just get some of that replacing skill with skill? It doesn't make any freaking sense to me. I don't know. I'm at such a freaking loss sometimes with this freaking team. Like, I don't know. Watching them sometimes gives me such a freaking headache because it's not even the fault of the players. To tell you the truth, there's not a single player on this team I'm genuinely mad at. And there are players I think are underachieving. But there's not a player that I'm like, oh, man, this guy sucks this season. I don't feel that about any one of these players. I look at these players, I'm like, they look like they're scared to touch the freaking puck because they don't want to get benched. Aside from Panarin, Zibanejad, and Kreider look like the only 3 players, and Trouba. Actually, I wouldn't even say Trouba. Those are the only 3 players on this roster that look like when they touch the puck, they're not immediately trying to get rid of it because they're scared of making a mistake. They're the only 3 players, and I guarantee you that's because their job's safe. And David Quinn looks to those guys. I don't know. Everyone else, they look afraid of the fucking puck. They seriously do. They seriously do. And when we live in a world where Brett Howden's getting 16 minutes of ice time, 16 minutes, and Lafreniere's getting less than 15, Kreider's getting less than 15, and yes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kreider's more effective than Brett Howden. I don't know. Even Di Giuseppe only got like less than 11 minutes. I would have played him over Brett Howden. And to tell you the truth, Brett Howden hasn't had a bad start to the season. I actually don't think Brett Howden's a terrible player. I just wouldn't have him any higher than the 4th line right now because I don't think the kid's deserving of it. I think Brett Howden, I don't know. Brett Howden's an interesting fucking player. There are moments where Brett Howden looks like he can be a really solid hockey player and looks like what he did in Moose Jaw was legit and wasn't just a flash in the pan. And then there are times where it's like, man, this kid was really rushing to the NHL, was he? Like, would it have really hurt the Rangers that one year to just give Elias Anderson the shot in the NHL because he deserved it, instead of sending him down and letting Brett Howden play in the minors where he needed to develop? Because Brett Howden was 6'3", like 180 pounds, or 170-some pounds. The kid really wasn't ready for the show in terms of physicality. And honestly, his play, aside from a few really bright moments in his first few games in the NHL, really didn't show very much and was stuffed on the 4th line, a 21-year-old rookie. Stuffed on the 4th line. Skill player. Really? Really, Quinn? Really? Asshole. Like, you couldn't just send him to minors, let him develop. Like, Elias Anderson, he was ready. And you guys bury him in the minors and just ruin him further. Then he runs back to fucking Sweden the season after. I don't know. I'm at such a freaking loss. They're just doing a lot of things that are really pissing me off because they make no friggin' sense. Like, I'm just some schmuck that watches the games and every now and again posts a YouTube video about the games. I don't know shit about the NHL. All right, I'm just some idiot. I just like to interact with other Ranger fans, bring up points, and see what other people think. I like to converse. I love this stuff. That's why I made this YouTube channel, because I love talking and communing with other people. This guy Quinn is a coach in the NHL, and sometimes I feel like I could put my how old's my sister? My 13-year-old sister. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. I could put my 13-year-old sister behind the bench, and she'd be just as effective. I think right now, and you can look at examples of this in the past, and it has worked in the past, where with this Rangers team, and I'm not saying fire David Quinn, because I do believe it's a long season, and you know what? You can't fire a guy after really 6 bad games, but with this Rangers team that you have right now, it's a very, very skilled Rangers team. You almost need a coach that's kind of hands-off and lets the players play their game. Honestly, and I believe that a lot for most of the NHL level. Now, granted, there are cases where that's just not true. The Islanders need structure. They needed structure. It's the only way they're winning. If the New York Islanders had a coach that didn't drive structure into them like Barry Trotz did, the Islanders, I hate to break it to you, would probably be a bottom 5 team. They're not that skilled. They're not that this. They're not that. The only thing they really got going for them is they have a phenomenal structure. Every player bought in, and they fucking play that structure to the best of their ability, and they kill it. The reason the New York Islanders are so goddamn good is because their structure is phenomenal, and it's essentially foolproof. They have enough skill to score goals, and they have more than enough defensive skill to stop the puck from going in the net. They've turned players like Ross Johnson, Cal Clutterbuck, Matt Martin, Casey Cizikas into essentially top-tier players in terms of where they fit into the scheme and how effective they are into the scheme. Any other team, those guys are all so buried so deep in the fucking minors, the East Coast Hockey League is giving them calls. But they fit under Barry Trotz's scheme. Now, if you look on the flip side with the Rangers, they aren't that type of team. The Rangers are essentially a skilled team with a couple of players that lack skill. Jack Johnson. And when you have a team like this, you almost need a coach that's more hands-off. You need a coach that's like, all right, have a couple breakouts set, have at least a power play and a penalty kill scheme and ideas set up. But when it comes to 5-on-5 hockey, you need to let these kids play. And if they're afraid, if you have a skilled team, a team that's built on skill and offense, afraid to make a mistake with the puck, you're not going to score goals. I hate to fucking break it to you. Because you're not going to win offensive hockey by playing defensive or afraid. You're just not going to win like that. When we were watching the Rangers last year, every single player on the ice looked like they were playing with confidence for the most part. Players didn't look afraid. They look afraid to make a mistake, as every player did, but they didn't look like afraid like they were going to lose their job over one bad shift. Kind of afraid. This season, that's not the case. They look like they're afraid to lose their job over one bad shift, over one silly mistake, at all times. And to tell you the truth, it's not like Jack Johnson and Brendan Smith are biting at the knees of D'Angelo and Keanu Miller and all those things, because they're not. The skill level between those guys are astronomically different. Yet for some reason, they're biting at the knees of these fucking players and scaring them shitless. Same thing with Julian Gauthier and Capo Caco and Lafreniere at points. I'll even lean at him a little bit. Even Lafreniere at points, where Colin Blackwell, Di Giuseppe, Rooney, these guys are so far away in terms of skill from these guys, yet they're somehow biting at their knees for a spot on the roster. It's disgusting. This is not how you coach a hockey team. This is almost psychological warfare at this point. This is the shit that the Spit and Chicklets guy gave Mike Keenan shit about. When you literally have players that fear you, they're not going to want to play for you. And they're not going to want to play hockey because they're going to be afraid of losing their fucking jobs. So at some point, David Quinn's got to figure out what this team's identity is and how he's going to coach them, and he's going to stick to the fucking plan. Because quite frankly, there's been no consistency in this lineup. I haven't seen a single line stay together for more than 3 shifts. I haven't seen a defensive pair stay together for more than 2 shifts. I haven't seen a power play unit that looks somewhat intelligent. I haven't seen a penalty kill unit that looked like they knew what the hell they're doing. I haven't seen a breakout that wasn't driven through one man carrying the puck or one pass. I haven't seen anything that looks like this is a structured hockey team. You look at any other team out there, their breakouts, sometimes the puck touches all fucking 5 guys. We look like we're giving just Hail Mary passes or skating up the ice because we're afraid of turning the puck over and getting benched. So, you know what? I digress. I can't go on this any longer because I'm really going to lose my mind because this guy's really starting to piss me off. We play Buffalo again tonight. I believe it's a 7 o'clock game tonight, right? Thursday, 1:20. Yeah, I got class before the game, but I'll actually be able to watch the game on time tonight, which is exciting. We haven't heard anything in terms of what the lineups are going to be like, who's coming in, who's coming out. In a perfect world, Kevin Rooney's coming out, and Julian Gauthier is going back in, and Jack Johnson's coming out because he should have never gone back in, and Brendan Smith will be playing in because, honestly, Brendan Smith's been playing pretty decent hockey. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope those two things will be the case. And as for Alexis Lafreniere, as long as he keeps playing well, I'm not overly worried about the first goal and the first assist. I'm not worried about that. Would it be good? Yes. But honestly, Lafreniere is playing good hockey. And when he doesn't look afraid, the kid's fucking buzzing out there. So as long as he keeps playing the game, it's going to come. He keeps getting closer and closer and closer. It's going to come eventually. We just gotta be patient. Who knows what's going to happen tonight? My fingers are crossed. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little fucking worried because I really don't think this team's prepared. We're at the bottom of the division, and it's not even close at this point. We're 3 points behind the Islanders for second to last in the division. I don't know. And we get the same amount of games played. So, do we? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, we do. 6. So, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? We'll see tonight. I just don't want this to be a rebuilding year. The Rangers should be competing. They should be playing a lot better. And I really think David Quinn's a big reason why they're not. You guys comment below your thoughts, everything I had to say. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.